Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Spawny here again. I had a request from a subscriber of mine to do a Post-Bosh Evilswarm deck profile. Now, granted that this deck probably won't be relevant after Bosh. I mean, it's not really even relevant now. But I wanted to do the best I could, so I put together a lot of different ideas and thought if you wanted to play Evilswarms, how you could make it viable, or at least have a decent enough time after Bosch. So this is what I put together. There's a lot of things you could probably change about this deck. Like these could be breakthrough skills if you wanted them to be. This could be like another whatever card you wanted to be. And then like there's a bunch of stuff you could change about the side and extra deck. Side deck's all player preference usually. I just think this is probably was something along the lines of what I would play. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump into it. So let's play the standard 3 Heliotrope. It's our normal monster for our rabbit over here. We play 3 Castor. He's a warrior, searchable by Rhoda, and he gets you the extra normal summon. So him plus any equal swarm equals any rank 4, really. 3 copies of Kirkion. I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit sick, guys, so I'm sorry if I sniffle a little bit. But anyway, 3 copies of Kirkion. He's really good because he's normal summoned. You can banish an Evilswarm monster in your graveyard, and then you add back one back, and then you can normal summon again that turn. So he's really, really good. Spellcaster too, which is kind of notable, I guess. Guess you want to play like Trapeze Magician in the extra deck, you could because he's a spellcaster. I don't know how great it would be, but it's an option you'd definitely have. Triple Mandragora, just basically a Cyber Dragon. So it's really, really good. Good enough to play 3. Double Thunderbird. This you're the wind-up rabbit of the deck, and then it comes back stronger. So it's a good card. I wouldn't threes. You don't need 3 though. 2 is fine because they just keep coming back, so you don't really need the third one. Plus, you can search any of these guys out with infection too. So and then the one lowly rescue rabbit because heliotropes. On to the spell cards. D-Fissure, just because it's going to be a pendulum format, I felt D-Fissure was really, really strong. Just because, not letting them have that extra deck is really strong. Double Pandemic. I had to cut it to 2 for space reasons. I didn't want to play anymore. So I felt like if you could just get it early game and then just have it there, it'd be good. But I couldn't fit the third one. If you wanted to cut something like maybe the Grand Horn for like a third one, you could. Triple Kaiser Coliseum. This card is really good. In this deck, I felt it was really strong, especially because this deck just normally wants to just sit on an Ophion with back row, and then if you activate this versus the Pendulum deck, they can't have more than 1 monster out at a time, so they can't like Pendulum 5, and that's going to be really, really effective versus some decks. And most Pendulum decks just like they struggle when you activate this card until they get to like an MST or something to out it. You're just going to have significant advantage, especially with a 25-50 beater on the board with back row, and they can't access basically anything in their synchros or anything, and they can't make a rank 4 because they can only have 1 monster on board. Double MST. I wanted to play this just because it's not even more so for the fact that it's good versus Pendulum Scales. It was more so versus stuff like Solemn Notice. It's going to be floating around. Just because we didn't want, when we went for our play with like an Ophion or whatever, we just didn't, we wanted that play to go through, so I wanted to be able to, because all Pepe is really going to set is their counter trap cards. So I felt like double MST was good because that way if you could clear like a back row out before you went into your play. Regeki, this card's debatable. I still like it enough to play it though. You could definitely cut this for something else though, because with Pendulums this card isn't as strong, but I felt like it could just clear their board for a turn and allow you to make a push. So I felt like it was worth playing, but if you didn't want to play it, you could cut it for like the 3rd Pandemic or something. Rhoda to search Castor. And Soul Charge, this card's a 1 card rank 4 in this deck, so why wouldn't you play it? That's for spells. Onto the traps, we play 1 Bottomless. This card's just overall really good versus Pendulum decks. Just when they go Pendulum, Mass Pendulum, you just Bottomless and they lose every one of them. That's over 1,500. All their Luster Pendulums, Jokers, Ariadnes that get summoned, all that stuff, so they just lose all of those. And a Pendulum Wizard too, that's another notable one. So it's just really strong. Triple Fiendish Chain. You could replace these with Breakthrough Skills if you wanted to. I liked this card over Breakthrough Skill in this deck just specifically for the fact that I can protect my Ophion from attacks or any rank 4 that I make. That's why I like this card over Breakthrough Skill. But if you wanted to play Breakthrough Skill over this, you could definitely do so. One Grand Horn. I was just because 3 time space is too many life points, so I played this. So this card's good against Pendulum decks. It just wipes them and then they go to the grave, so they don't get them back. The one Infection. The other thing is it ends their main phase, which is really good. Yeah, it gives them a free card, but basically you're making them lose monsters and lose the rest of their main phase, and they get 1 card out of it. That's a pretty good trade-off, if you ask me. One Infection. It basically is just a trap card that you can once per turn shuffle anything back from your hand or field, and then add 1. It's good. One macro for the same reason as D-Fissure. This card is just really good versus any pendulum-based deck. A triple mistake. A well-timed mistake against Pepe can be really detrimental just because that deck searches a lot. So if you like chain mistake to like their Wavering Eyes, when they go Wavering Eyes themselves and you like chain mistake, or when they activate Pendulum Wizard's effect and you chain mistake, it can be really, really strong against that deck because they just go minus, and then their initial plus just turn into a minus. Solemn Warning, just for the same reason as Grand Horn, they just lose everything. You pay 2,000 when they mass pendulum summon, and they just lose everything. Or you can like negate like their Infinity or something. Double Time Space, just because this card's really good versus pendulum decks. It can cost you a lot of life points, so you have to be careful. But I felt like with playing Rafflesia and the extra deck, I felt like time space was worth it because now we can time space them with deck if we can make Rafflesia, and then the one emptiness because it's emptiness plus emptiness plus Key Beetle is a really strong lock. Then we side deck. This is all player preference. I just felt like this is one we played. Triple Veiler. I considered main decking these, but I didn't feel like it would be worth it. I felt like I'd rather just side deck them because I felt like in game 1 I'd rather just have traps that would just stop them and slow them down. Triple Max C just for draw power. A lot of these cards are very good possibilities to be sided in. You could change the side deck around if you want. I was just thinking more so when I built this side deck as of Pepe is going to be like basically the only deck I'm going to regularly see. So I felt like I'd rather have all cards that at least affected that deck in some way, shape, or form. The third copy of MST, you could also side this in versus like back row heavy decks. Like if you played against like a random Magispector or like maybe a random Satellar Knight or something. Rogue at your locals or whatever. Triple Spell Shattering Arrow. It's just overall a good card versus any pendulum based deck, and it's better than Wavering Eyes. I see a lot of people try to like side Wavering Eyes in over this, and I've just been like, why would you not play Spell Shattering? It deals them more damage, and it does the same thing. So that's triple Spell Shattering, triple Anti Spell. I wanted to main this. The only reason I didn't is because I play a lot of spells in the main deck. But I figure like game 2, if I'm siding in Mystical Space Typhoons, or I'm siding in anti-spells, I could side out my MSTs and like my Regeki for 3 of these, and that would lower my spell count. Plus I'd probably like side out like, I don't know, maybe like Soul Charge or something for like more cards and other stuff. So I felt like these were better off in the side deck. And then 2 more copies of Grand Horn. I felt like game 2, if you could change up the deck to basically where if you just make an Exceed and then just I'll not let them play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, yeah, that's even someone how I built the main deck, and the side deck was just built to reinforce that. On the extra deck, I play Castel because it's just generically good rank 4 to remove stuff. Like They Flip Decree, or like Denko Sekkas, stuff like that, because those cards will really hurt you. I played the Infinity Engine just because like I figured why not. This deck can make Ptolemaios easily. So you just play it, you just make Infinity after that. Cybernova for the Infinity. Daigusto Emerald just to recycle your resources. Dark Rebellion to get over big stuff. Bahamut just to steal stuff. Double Ophion, didn't feel like 3 was necessary because I felt like versus Pepe, they don't really special summon anything that's over level 5 anyway, except for like Infinity and stuff. But I didn't feel like the third one was necessary. Plus, like you never really go into the third one anyway a whole lot. It's more so just there for an option. Plus, like with as much like control, like if you this deck works out the way you want it to, which is like you want to just sit on an Ophion with back row and like a floodgate, um, then just like out their pendulum summons and keep dealing damage. Then that's it. Can be this card would help. You didn't really ever were never gonna need the third Ophion. And I felt like it was just there was just you couldn't play it just because there was better cards to play. Like you have to take up 4 spots for the Infinity Engine, but it's worth it. Cowboy, just because sometimes you cowboy people for game in this deck. Honor Art, steal stuff. Crab King, just because it's big and gets over stuff. Key Beetle to lock your floodgates. And overall, it's just a strong card. You just lock any card. Lock your Mistake, your Emptiness, your Kaiser Coliseum, your Macro, any of those cards. You're mainly just going to use it to like lock a floodgate on board so they can't like MST it. Deltaros, I felt like I played this over Diamond just for the sole fact that I didn't feel like Diamond's really good versus anything post Pepe. So I felt like for the one time you maybe like might want to make a Deltaros that you'd have that option. Because I mean it works the same as Ptolemaeus. I mean you just need one Stellar Knight card. So Deltaros works for that. And then play the Ptolemaeus to go into Infinity, to go into Cybernova to go into Infinity, and then this is to just to attach to the Ptolemaeus. And then I played Rafflesia just because we can time space them or bottomless them from deck, which is really, really good. But yeah, that's the deck. If you guys have any other decks you want me to make, I'm more than happy to do so. Thank you to, I believe Jonathan was your name. I'm sorry, I can't remember the last half of your username. Thank you for sending this a request. Hope you like it, man. Comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Remember, if there's anything else you want to see, dual videos, deck profiles, anything like that, I can gladly make that happen for you guys. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll try to upload again this week, at least one more time this week. I have finals next week, so I'll probably end up getting a video during then. I have time between finals where I could probably make a video. I might just do like maybe another deck profile, just something random, just like something really weird. I was actually considering doing like something like that, maybe like a Mermail deck profile or something. But anyway, catch you guys later. Have a good night, guys. Spawny.